for our featured speaker for today. You guys, she's been a coach a little over 6 years. I can't believe it because I remember when she started. And she's part of Team Juvo Empire. You guys who are from Juvo Empire, give her some applause there. She's a 6-time elite coach, and I believe she was even in the top 10 in 2018. I think she was number 3. She can correct me if I'm wrong. Superstar Diamond. She is also a Legacy Club member from Shawnee, Kansas. Ruth Shrauner. Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to have you on. It's been a while.
It has. A lot has changed since then, too.
Yes. And I'm so glad you said that because I wrote that yesterday in the roundtable that you're so great at adapting to change. And that is really what being a coach is that the fundamentals of this business stay the same, but so many things change in our environment. And so I'm going to let you just talk about what was that wake-up call moment for you in your coaching business?
Oh, yeah. I think that happened years ago. Like Sandy said, I've actually been a coach for 7 years. And it kind of happened as a new coach coming into this. So I have all you guys pulled up on the side over here. So I want to know from you guys how long you've been a coach and where you're joining me from in the chat thread, just so I kind of know who my audience is. But whether you are a veteran and you've been here for a long time like me, or maybe you are brand new, just like Sandy said, the fundamentals in this business are kind of everything. And for me, when I came into this, I realized early on the foundation of this business was going to be my own health and fitness journey when I started as a new coach. I came into this with a full-time job. I was initially just trying to get fit, I think like a lot of us, right? I heard about the business opportunity and I was like, hey, it'd be cool if I can make $500 a month maybe with this business. Let's just see what could happen. And as I came into this, I actually came into it because I was looking at before and after photos on Instagram. I was searching the hashtags T25, 21 day fixed results, and looking essentially for the girl who had my before body and whose after body I wanted to aspire to be. And so that's what brought me into the online boot camp communities. And when I heard about coaching, I simply asked myself, okay, well, how did I get here? What brought me here? And how do I do that? And the answer, it was simple, right? It is simple. It was that I was seeing people transform their own health and fitness and sharing that online. So I asked myself, how was I going to do that in my own business? And honestly, I took my before photos as a brand new coach. I did not want to. I was not smiling because I was not very happy at the time. I wasn't a very happy person in life, let alone with my own body at the time. I actually got mad at my husband and I blamed him that my before pictures were bad in my mind. And then I said, I don't think I'm going to see any changes over 21 days. I was like, this probably isn't going to change anything in 21 days. There's no chance. But I also told myself when I came into this that I would do a trust fall and I would do what other successful coaches did. And so a part of that was completely committing to my first health and fitness program. So even though I had this doubt in the back of my mind that anything would even change, that I'd see any differences in 21 days in my body, because honestly, I thought coming into this, I knew how to eat healthy. I thought I was doing the right things. And I just had excuses as to why my body wasn't changing. So I kind of thought I had the answers before I came in. So I took my before pictures and I just dove in and trusted the system. I took out those portion containers and I was like, I'm going to starve to death. There's no way. I also said that. And it turns out, honestly, I was kind of wrong about everything. There was no starving. I have been very full for seven solid years. I'm eating more than I've ever eaten before. And my body did change because I did that trust fall. And instead of, thinking I already knew it, I said, let's try something new. Let's follow this system. And I knew it was my job to share this program as I went through as a new coach. And I took that very seriously. And with that, as terrifying as it was, I made a non-negotiable to myself that I would share my progress photos every 7 days on social media. And I want to let you know that as a new coach, I absolutely hated doing that. It was terrifying, terrifying. I would literally post that progress picture and then I'd like log out of Facebook, shut down, and I'd text my sister and be like, hey, will you go comment on it and like it to make me feel better? Just so someone was saying something on it. Cause it was terrifying. Right. But that was my non-negotiable. And I knew it was very important because that's how I got brought into this community. I knew it was important for me to do that same thing. And so as I did that, it also held me accountable in my own health and fitness journey. Those weekends where I wanted to overindulge on all of the cupcakes and all of the chips and queso and all of the margaritas, I kept it in control because of those progress pictures that I was going to be posting. And this is what launched my business. The simple act of following the program that's already in your hands, it's already in my hands, following that program, doing a trust fall into it, and sharing my authentic experience as I went through it. And that did not mean I was perfect those 21 days. My first 21 days actually fell over into the 4th of July. And so I talked about that, but I still saw progress and I still showed up and I just shared that. And as I did, I grew that trust with my audience, which was essentially all warm market at the time. So I was building that trust with them as I posted and shared, and they were building interest in that. And essentially my first 2 years in this business, that's what I did. I talked about the 21 days that initially changed my life, because that first 21 days, it blew my mind in regards to nutrition, what is possible, and actually how much I should be eating that I wasn't eating, how skewed my ideas of health were. And I talked about how you didn't have to kill yourself in the gym, because I thought you had to kill yourself in the gym to have the body that I now have. And so for 2 years, I kind of fell into that same process and model of just sharing that journey over and over again. Even if I was doing a different program, I would always come back to that initial 21 days. And that's how I would start every customer of mine as well in my online bootcamp, was with 21 Day Fix, with that program. Now, if I'm being honest, I kind of wish that like every single program was a 21 day or a 30-day program, because selfishly, that's like my sweet spot. And that's where I seem to have the most commitment, the most control. It's not too long where I get bored, but it's long enough where I see awesome results when I dive into that nutrition plan. That's where I thrive. I've also noticed my customers have a lot of success there as well. And I think, as you know, many things have changed in this business over the past few years. Okay, let's have a real moment on Facebook. How many of you guys have maybe felt like, whoa, there's so much going on, there's so many launches happening? Has anyone else felt like that with me? I know I have. I felt like that many times. And it's easy to get swept away in that feeling. And so the past few months, as everything has been changing, as we've had all these new launches, and as any type of overwhelm started to creep in, I started to ask myself, how can I make this simple? How can I make this simple? And that always kept me going back and saying, like, well, what did I used to do that made it simple? What was I doing those first 2-3 years in this business that had built so much success for me? And also, I didn't feel overwhelmed. I didn't feel like I was always trying to do something different, but there was still a freshness in my business. And that led me to thinking about the 21 Day Fix and how that 21 Day Bootcamp model really helped my business take off and thrive. And then BODi launched. Okay. And so then we heard that BODi was launching as I was having these same thoughts. And I want you to know that maybe some of you guys have said this, right? When I heard BODi was launching, I was like, well, that's super cool. That's really awesome. Like, how amazing is that? And initially, I started saying, but like all the people who follow me and everyone knows I do program after program. Like that's just what I do. And that's like what the people that join me want to do too. Well, of course, because that's all I talk about. Right. And initially I wanted to hide behind that thought and be like, okay, this is just too much. I don't know what to do. And then I had to have a come to Jesus talk with myself and ask how I could really use this to drive my business and use it to help another set of people that I'm not helping right now, which is a super cool thing that we're able to do. And so as I started thinking, oh, this might present a problem, I started looking at BODi as a major solution. And here's what I found is that when I think about the 21-day fix that launched my business, and when I think about BODi, I realized I could merge these things and build 21-day boot camps that would always be customized and always be personal to my new customers. It would always be fresh. It would always be new because of what BODi now gives us. However, I could still use that 21-day boot camp calendar and model to grow my business. And when I thought of it like that, things got really simple and I got really, really excited about the launch of BODi. So I'm going to tell you the 3 questions that I ask myself to begin talking about this on social media, to begin sharing it, and how I'm going to use this 21-day bootcamp model to grow my business, to help another market of people, and to ultimately help my customers find success, help my team find success, and help me continue to build success. Okay, you guys ready? Let me know if you're ready in the chat thread, if you guys are excited about this. So first and foremost, if you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't even looked at BODi yet. I don't even know what's going on. I'm still catching up from last launch. I've been there. Trust me, I have twin toddlers at home. I have twin toddlers. They're bananas right now. We're chasing them around all the time. And so I just want to encourage you to release that feeling of you're behind, because you're not. The cool thing is with this business, you have the opportunity to essentially launch BODi or the bike whenever you desire. Okay. So you're not behind, you're right where you need to be, and you can use this moving forward and help it cater to your life. Deal? Type deal in the chat thread if you're with me. So the 3 questions I asked myself as I started thinking about how to simplify this model and use this 21-day bootcamp model with BODi, with the bike, and then also with BOD moving forward were, who am I talking to about BODi? What am I sharing with them on social media? And how, during the chaos that we know life is going to throw at us, can I set this up in the most simple model that I can use month to month? Okay. So that's what I'm going to go through with you. So, as I was, as I talked about just a minute ago, I was telling you, like, my people know that I do calendar programs. They know I just follow a program and then I start a new program and I follow a new program. That's where I started with thinking about BODi. And then I had to realize and take it back. And I asked myself, who am I talking about to BODi? When I asked myself that question, I really went and I just said, well, who was I before I was doing all of these programs? Who was I 7 years ago before I came into this? And 7 years ago, I was the girl who absolutely loved live gym classes. Turbo Kick, the gym format, is like literally how I got into health and fitness. I loved going to live in studio gym exercise classes, those big group classes. That's what I loved. Okay. And half the time I couldn't find a class that worked for me because of scheduling, or the gym wasn't close enough, all of those things. And so while I love those live classes, I kept running into the issues of not being able to find a class within my schedule or within my driving range that I needed to. Now, if I bring that even forward now to my life these days, if that was still something I was doing and I thrived on those classes with twin toddlers, let me just tell you right now, I would never, ever, ever work out if I had to go to a gym. Like, it would not happen. Nah, not going to happen. Right. So even taking that a step further and adopting that same love of gym classes to my life today as a new mom, and saying like, well, here's the problem with that now is I can't get to that gym, or I don't have childcare, or I have to pack up 2 toddlers, drive to the gym, get them out, take them inside. Oh my Lord, I'm tired thinking about it. Whew, I just got a workout in my brain thinking about putting them in the car and getting them out 3 times. So I started thinking about that, and that's who I'm talking to as I talk about Beachbody, those people who love those live classes, or maybe they love those classes. They can't find the time. The schedule doesn't work for them. Maybe their gym is no longer open because of the big P that's hit us the past few years. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say the word on Facebook anymore, but that's who I'm talking to. Additionally, I'm talking to another type of person. And this is the person that sometimes gets bored doing programs. They like spontaneity. They like to mix up their routine. I don't know about any of my longtime Beachbody lovers, but sometimes are you ever like, so for me, I do love 21 Day Fix. I love going back to that program and doing it over and over again. And some days I'm like, man, I wish there was more 30-minute programs like 21 Day Fix that I could just do over and over again. Well, insert BODi. If you've ever done the 30-minute programs on BODi, you know that they kind of, or at least some of them, the ones that I have tried, they emulate that same format that 21 Day Fixes, which to me is super awesome because I love that pace. I love that speed. And I love how fast you're out of there and done. Right. And so for me, you can customize BODi to the workout program, maybe that you've done in the past that you love. Let's say you are a huge fan of Joel. How many Joel fans do I have? I see my girl Jess on here. I know she's a big Joel fan. So you can customize that 21-day calendar to fit the love of the program that you like that's on BOD, but now in a live, in a fresh format using BODi. So those are kind of who I'm personally talking to from my own personal story that I'm going to talk to as I share BODi on my social media. Okay. So the next question was, what am I sharing with them on social media? And this is where it gets really, really simple, guys. And I'm not going to elaborate too much because I just, as I introduced this call, I talked about what I did as a new coach. I know as a veteran coach on here, I've been a coach for a long time. I think one of the easiest areas to take advantage of is our own health and fitness journey. We get caught up in everything else and we forget how important our own personal journey is to share on social media. And I am committing, as I launch BODi, to just go back and be a brand new coach, committing to a 21-day calendar and authentically sharing that journey. With that, you will see me post my day 1 commitment. So here's day 1 of my 21-day BODi bootcamp. Here's what I'm committing to. Here's what I plan to do over the next 21 days. That's all I'm going to share with my audience is here's my plan. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be anything perfect. It is just authentically me. Here's what I'm doing. As I go through my 21-day BODi bootcamp, I'm just going to share my experience, show them behind the scenes of what the BODi platform looks like, what classes I'm choosing and why I'm choosing those classes. Maybe I'm choosing a class without equipment because my toddlers are running around and I know if I have weights, I'm probably going to hit one of them, right? So I'm just going to share those real moments with them. Hey, today I'm going to do this HIIT class. It doesn't require any equipment because my toddlers are running around and I don't want to hit one of them with a weight, right? Or maybe today I'm doing yoga because my kids didn't sleep last night and I need just something low energy today to help me kind of get back into the swing of things. And that's all I'm going to do is just be honest and authentic. That's all it takes, guys. That's where people will relate to you most. You don't have to show up and be like a fitness expert or a fitness guru, always doing the right things that you think your audience wants. Instead, just be you and share that. With this, I'll also share my 21-day calendar, and I'm going to track it on Instagram stories as well. So I'll have my Instagram little story image, and every day that I work out, I'll kind of just put the little sticker on there. And so they'll see as I progress through this 21 days and they will progress with me through it. And then lastly, and this is super important for me because I don't know, tell me in the chat thread, does anyone else on here love cupcakes, wine, French fries, pizza. That is me. So I'm a coach because I need the accountability in my own life to lead a healthy lifestyle. Otherwise, I would just eat all the sugar all the time. But with this, posting my progress pictures every 7 days, for me, this is still crucial. I have actually fallen out of the habit of doing this the past few months. And I was kind of doing a social media audit of my own Instagram. And I went back to last year where I was doing this consistently. And I hadn't realized how I skip it so often now. And I was like, man, why does it feel hard right now to help someone get started in my boot camp, to inspire someone to enroll in my boot camp with me? And I realized it's because I wasn't showing them. I haven't been showing them my progress. And when I'm not showing them my progress, I'm not building that trust in our programs or our nutrition plans. They don't know the results that they can be getting with me. And I don't even mean that the progress has to be like this mind-blowing progress, because it doesn't. The progress might be like, hey, I haven't slept the past week because of my kids, but I'm still here and I'm still showing up, right? It's more of just sharing that journey and holding myself accountable. People love to follow that progress with you. If you think about, HGTV, home interior design shows, they don't just show people the before and the after of the home for 30 minutes, right? They show the progress along the way. It's 30 minutes of progress, of ups, of downs, of obstacles, of challenges that they had to overcome, of speed bumps in the road that they had to work through. And that's essentially what we do on our social media. And sharing those progress pictures for me every 7 days helps hold me accountable from eating all of the cupcakes that I want to eat, because it's a lot. And also helps me just share the reality of what my past 7 days, it keeps me on track, period. And then the last one, during the chaos of life, right? Because I'm sure a lot of you have went through chaos the past few years. And if you haven't yet, you're going to at some point, because that's what happens in life. How can I set this up to make this simple for me moving forward, so I don't feel like I'm always disorganized and jumping from one thing to the next? How can I use this 21-day BODi boot camp model every single month? And so for me, I'm so excited about BODi because it helps me go back to that 21-day fixed calendar that launched my business. However, now it's going to be the 21-day BODi boot camp calendar. It helps me go back to that format that allows me to use that same format every single month. But every single month, it will be a fresh take, because the calendar will always change, because our live classes will always change. I'm waiting on my bike to get here. Cannot wait. So as my bike gets here, I'll start integrating the bike into that calendar and using the bike then to show everyone what I'm doing with the bike. But there will always be something fresh and new on that calendar, so it'll never get stale. Whereas with our BOD program, sometimes we know, you can only do that program so many times. But now with BODi Bootcamp, we're able to reinvent this in the easiest way possible every single month. So how I plan to do this is to host a 21-day BODi Bootcamp every month. 1 week will be the prep week. And then weeks 2 through 4 will be where we dive into the BODi Bootcamp calendar, and we follow that calendar. And then the next month, I'll repeat the same thing with the same BOD group. Okay. I'll lead with that BODi Bootcamp calendar. However, I could also change the theme each month to add a little spice to it. And honestly, the themes, they kind of change based upon what's happening in my life. What do I need? This month in my boot camp, I'm leaning into a faith over fear, leaning into faith during hard times in life, because that's what I need right now. And so you have the ability, and I have the ability, to take the BODi Bootcamp model, but then put your own theme and your own spin on top of the workouts to make it something that you're excited about. Because I think when you're excited about it, that's when your people will get excited as well. And so what's happening in your life? What do you need right now that's going to hold you accountable? Lean into those things and use that as a way to create a theme that's going to hold you accountable and it's going to make you excited about your business and then excited to help other people who are going through those same things. So I will be leading with a 21-day BODi bootcamp model going forward, and really leading with BODi as a whole. That's where I will start, and then falling back to BOD if BODi isn't the right option for them at the time. But I'm excited about this because it helps me keep everything fresh, everything new, but most importantly, everything simple, right? Everything is simple. And it's just going back to those very, very authentic and easy things that built my business in the beginning that sometimes we forget, and we start to overcomplicate everything in our minds, and we go this way or that way. And to me, it feels like I'm coming home, to be honest. I'm like coming home to these 21-day boot camps that BODi is now allowing me to create and use on a monthly basis to keep things simple.
Well, a lot to unpack here. It was so simple the way that you laid it all out with all the stuff that's coming at you with BODi, BOD, and mix. I want to go back a second to before pictures. When I first started with Beachbody, Carl was hanging his hat on the before picture. That was the moment that you showed everybody your starting point, right? But so many people didn't want to do the before picture, right? But when you think about it, when you see a picture of you like on vacation or something, and you're like, holy moly, I need to start something, that is your before picture. It may be when you make the decision to go all in with a program, it is that reckoning that you have. I don't know if that's, something that you follow, but the when you're told to do a before picture, you're like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't need a before picture. Or when it's a picture that's taken of you, and then you go, whoa, that is my decision point. I'm just trying to say about that before picture, how critical it is for you to see progress, even in the look in your face, your eyes, your positivity about it. So that was the first thing I wanted to ask you about, was the before picture, because then I know progress pictures are super important as well.
Yeah. And I think even with me, that before picture, that day one commitment, it's one thing knowing behind the scenes you're committing to this program and you're going to follow it. It's totally different now when you have told all of your friends on Facebook and all of the people on Instagram watching you, like, hey, it's day one, here we go. Now I'm like, well, they know I'm doing it. They're going to wonder what happens if I don't show up,
Yeah.
And so for me, it's actually just about like making sure I show up in the commitment I made for myself, even when life just throws everything at me and it's way easier to make an excuse. I need that accountability.
Exactly. The other thing I was going to talk to you about was the 21-day sweet spot. So there's a lot of people that do 21-day program and nothing really changes for them, but they repeat it again and again, and it creates that habit of every 21 days, you can do something for 21 days. Mm-hmm. So it seems to me as though when you said I'm coming back home, it is just this comfort place that no matter what program comes out, if it's 6 weeks, 9 weeks, you are still going to go in a commitment of 21 days. And then at the end of that 21 days, kind of reassess. Would that be a safe way of saying it?
Yep, absolutely. And just having that timeline of 21 days, even if it was like 6:45, we just finished this program together, my team and I, but looking at it in those phases of, okay, let's crush phase 1, let's crush phase 2, and breaking it down for myself in my mind, because that helps me. I think everything just comes back to what helps me, right?
Exactly.
But I think when
you're passionate about it.
Yeah, when you do this business right, like this business should help you. Like this is what helps me in my own personal health and fitness journey, and what also then filters into my business.
Yeah. When I think back at the older programs that were, Power 90 was 90 days. And so like we weren't even blinking, we weren't flinching. We just did it. But then as programs got shorter and shorter and shorter, you got more people to do the program, but then they weren't getting the results in 21 days. So they needed to create a lifestyle.
Yes.
Of repeating that. So I just love the simplicity. I mean, you gave a lot of good how-to tips. I really appreciate that. And so what would you say in the last 7 years has been a key factor in your success?
I know who I think so I think it is just never giving up no matter what life deals me. 7 years is a long time, and there have been many life circumstances thrown my way. And in that, I have always shown up to work this business because, like I just said, I know that when I work this business the right way, it helps me. It makes me healthier. It makes me stronger. Now put the community aspect and the personal development aspect on top of it. It makes me a more positive person. Makes me a happier person, a kinder person, a more giving person. And so even when life has gotten hard, the past, even few months, leaning into this community as a source of inspiration and motivation for myself has been key, because what we have here is a gift. And so when you see it as a gift, you don't want to run from it. You don't want to hide from it. You know it's there to actually help you and to serve you when you need it most. And that's kind of where I've been at many times in my business through our fertility treatments, through being a new twin mom that really, really struggled with postpartum depression. And I still struggle with that. And then also the past few months as my family has faced massive tragedy and losing people that we love. And I just keep coming back to this business because I'm so thankful for the community that it's given me and for how much it's changed my life, how much it's allowed me to restore faith in God, because he's done all of these amazing things through this business for me, restore faith in myself as a human being and my belief and in my potential and my capabilities. And I think I just keep, I won't go away. That's why I'm still here. You just can't get rid of me. But it really is because I lean into the gift that this business is, and I want other people to have this gift in their life because I know what it's given to me and my family.
You have me a little bit choked up, a lot choked up. I think that resilience and gratitude is like the words that keep coming from you. You've had to be really strong, and I appreciate so much what you've given to this business. And I'm so appreciative that you've built a network of people around you to lift you up. And I want to just say how much I thank you. It's been a really rough year for you. And thank you for making this so simple. Yet, people say it's simple. It's simple when you get to like a systematic approach to this business. Mm-hmm. And when you figured out what was something that just keeps on working, you just keep going back to it. And yep. I really think that is the answer. It's like you try and you try and you try and you try. When you find something that works and you get away from it for a while, you go, wait a minute, what was I doing that was working? You came back to it. And yeah, really, really good, Ruth. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
You're very welcome. All right. I am ready to end the call. Thank you so much for sticking around for Ruth. I could listen to her all day long. She's just so clear and the message was so simple. So make sure you tell coaches to come back and watch or go to the podcast, and make it a great week, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.